Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Super excited today. We're going to be going over the 5 components to a holistic, healthy lifestyle. So, I made a poll on my Instagram story, and this was the most requested topic. So, super excited to get going today. So, come on in. Super excited to have you. So, we're going to go over, like I said, the 5 components to a holistic, healthy lifestyle. So, surprise, surprise, the very first component is sleep. And I've talked about this on my Instagram a lot before, but I'm going to get into the details of why sleep is so crucial and what actually happens right when we aren't tired and when we are tired and we're lethargic and we're irritated and things can happen. So at the end of the day, if you're tired, everything else struggles. No matter if you are trying to follow through with your nutrition, you're trying to go to bed at a good time, but then you don't and you want to go to the gym in the morning, that is totally going to impact your consistency and your ability to follow through. And unfortunately right now we're starting to normalize getting more sleep, but we do still live in a culture where it's actually celebrated or looked at as like, oh, that person pulled an all-nighter, or oh, that person's working so late. And we're celebrating that when we shouldn't be doing that, because at the end of the day, like I said, if we're tired, we're not able to follow through on so many things. Hello everybody, welcome. Can keep on coming in. And so, I'm all for hard work and discipline, but if you want to be a top performer in all areas of your life, this is really crucial. And it's not always going to be possible to get 9 hours of sleep. So, we really should be aiming for 7 to 9, but more than that, more than just the amount of time we're looking at, we want to look at the quality of our sleep. Because if you are thinking that you're getting 9 hours of sleep, but in reality, the quality of the sleep that you're getting, if you're waking up tired, if it takes you multiple coffees to wake up, if you're rolling around in the middle of the night and just the quality of sleep isn't there, then that's actually more crucial than us looking at like the amount of time that you're sleeping. So number one thing that I recommend doing is using some sort of sleep wearing technology. I use the Oura Ring, which I love, and I know some people love the Whoop. You can use an Apple Watch, a Fitbit. Trying to get some more sleep data, especially if you are a data driven person, when you start to see the correlation between going to bed late, eating dinner late, maybe you're drinking alcohol late, whatever it is, and how that impacts your sleep, you're going to start getting these patterns reinforced, and then you're going to be more likely to implement a better sleep schedule. So just to explain the patterns of sleep, so we have a sleep cycle. And we typically go through a few sleep cycles in the middle of the night. So the average person goes through about 6 sleep cycles. And the sleep cycles consist of your light sleep, your deep sleep, and your REM sleep. And so the things that actually can impact the quality of our sleep, especially the deep sleep and the REM sleep, are crucial for recovery and making sure that we're feeling like our muscles are actually starting to recover and grow when we're sleeping. Light sleep is more when your body's actually starting to slow down its temperature. You're a little bit awake. You're not fully in the deep sleep zone yet, and you can actually be easily awoken. But these all sleep parts of our cycle are really important. However, there are some things that are going to impact, these sleep cycles. So for example, if you are, on screens late at night, if you are having your brain stimulated, if you're stressed, if you're, just in front of a lot of like blue light or general bright light, especially if you are like a night shift worker. So I have a few clients that are nurses, they're working in a hospital with a lot of bright light. These all things can really impact your ability to fall asleep and impact your circadian rhythm. So some things that you can really do to have higher sleep quality would be removing screens as much as possible, minimum 30 minutes before your bedtime. Ideally, you can get this up to 45 minutes to an hour. If you're someone like me, I do love, watching my show before bed, and that's okay. It's not about saying I can't watch TV or I can't go on Instagram and scroll. Maybe you just want to have a laugh on TikTok. You had a hard day and you want to have a couple jokes, and that's fine. But it's about actually setting that time aside and saying, okay, if I want to watch my show, what time do I really need to stop, and put a limit on it in order for you to have that minimum 30 minutes before bed to increase that sleep quality. Some other things we can do are getting sun in the morning. Thirdly, you can also focus on just totally, destimulating your brain. So doing some reading, journaling, meditation before bed. And then finally, a few things that I really love to do are wearing an eye mask, wearing earplugs. I do live in a house with like a different apartment upstairs, and people are always walking around. And it can really disturb you when you're in that light sleep zone trying to get into deep sleep. And if you keep getting awoken in the light sleep, it's going to be hard to have a proper sleep cycle. And then finally, making sure that your temperature is set to 18 degrees. That is the optimal temperature for our bodies to sleep in the middle of the night. So that is the first section on sleep. Now, the second, and I would say one of the most crucial sections, actually even more than sleep, because it's mindset. And if you don't have a great mindset, or you have certain beliefs around sleep and there's resistance there, then it's actually going to impact that. So I would say 80% of our success and our consistency in having a holistic, healthy lifestyle comes down to our mindset. And so the first thing and component of our mindset is we really need to redefine our idea of consistency. Like, what does consistency actually mean to you? Because a lot of the times we think consistency is being 100% perfect. If you can't do everything, then you're not going to do anything. And we have different expectations around what consistency is. And this is really what causes us to stop and start to feel like we've fallen off track. And some of the mindset drivers that I see actually impact consistency are: one, the lack of mindset; number two, the all or nothing mindset; criticizing ourselves into action, like I said, setting unrealistic expectations; and also some subconscious fears that we have towards our goal that cause resistance. So I'm just going to touch on all of these pretty briefly. And I've talked about this on my Instagram as well with a more in-depth caption. So go to that and check it out if you're interested in learning more about each of them. But if we take a look at the lack of mindset, right? So the lack of mindset is, let's say you want to meal prep and it's a Sunday, you really don't want to meal prep, you want to relax, and your mindset is, I don't want to meal prep because I want to take the time to relax. So the belief there, the limiting belief, is that if you meal prep, you're not going to be able to relax and you're losing that relaxation time. So that's the lack of mindset. And if we're only focusing on what we're losing by participating in our habits and our healthy habits that we want to have, then we're never going to be consistent because we're always looking at it from a negative frame of mind. So what we need to do is we need to change that over to a positive frame of mind. And what that would be is, what are you actually gaining from that experience, from meal prepping, to use the example? Well, you're gaining actually time, because later in the week, you won't have to cook and clean multiple dishes every day. What will that result in? Well, that's going to result in you actually relaxing after work, which is probably one of the most crucial times you want to be relaxing. Meal prep's going to take an hour out of your Sunday, whereas you come home from work and you have to then clean, make food, clean the dishes. All that is taking away from relaxation time you can have during the night, during the week. So thinking about it, if you have this lack of mindset right now, what I want you to do is go through all the habits that you are wanting to be consistent in your life, and look at the mindset and frame of mind you're viewing them from. Are you viewing them from that lack of mindset, or from, what am I going to gain from this experience? Number two would be the all or nothing mindset. And so this is, a lot of people have heard this before, but right, where you either can't eat perfectly, you can't do everything right, so then you don't do anything. If you had a plan to go to the gym, for example, 5 times this week, it's, Thursday or Friday, and you've only went once, then you're like, oh, I just might as well not go. I'm not going to hit my goal. But in reality, you could still go today, you could still go tomorrow, and you could still go Sunday, and you could still hit those 4 workouts. And so what we need to look at and say, okay, if I did miss something, why did I miss it? And it's just crucial to understand, like, what happened? What were the justifications? What did you tell yourself? Did you not plan? Did you just make an excuse? Whatever it was, you can plan that for next time. And then the second thing you can do and say, okay, well, I can't do it all, but I can still do something. And remembering that if you have 50% to give and you give 50%, you are still giving 100%. The third lack or mindset and breaker that we typically see with being consistent is the criticizing yourself into action. So if you are punishing yourself, if you're telling yourself, like, I hate the way I look, or like, I suck, like, I need to go do this, like, why am I not doing this? Then we're not going to enjoy the process at all. And it might spark the motivation to go to the gym at first. It might spark the motivation to eat well, but it's not going to be the thing that's going to actually have you enjoy the process long term. And so rather than looking at the negative reasons to start looking at the positives and the outcomes that you're going to achieve by it. And then lastly, mindset wise, the subconscious fears we have that typically lead to that self-sabotage. So if you have a fear around a goal, your whole, like, the body's entire goal is to keep you feeling safe. So, for example, if you are trying to go to bed early or you're trying to eat well and your friends ask you to go out and you had already meal prepped food and you know you want to get up early to go to the gym tomorrow, your fear might be fear of missing out or fear of looking lame by saying no or by leaving the bar early or by eating dinner before and just getting a drink when you're there because you've already made your food. And so if you have that fear of what other people are going to think of you, that fear of judgment is really what it comes down to, then you're never going to actually overcome that. It's a band-aid solution. You might do it once or twice and you're going to fall back into those old patterns of behavior. So really encouraging you here after these 4 or 5 steps is to understand what mindset you're having and what frame of mind you have when you're going into your, healthy lifestyle and trying to make these changes. The third component to a holistic, healthy lifestyle is fuel. And this is fuel in a sustainable way. So there's 2 parts to fuel. There's the nutritional fuel, what we're actually putting in our bodies. And then there's the, fuel for the soul that we also need to have. And often we focus on, eating healthy by just eating perfectly, right? Cutting out sugar, cutting out our favorite foods, cutting out carbs, and not eating pizza, not going to an Italian restaurant because you're worried about how that's going to impact your progress. But in reality, long term, all that's going to result in is you being consistent for a few weeks, and then you're not able to sustain it as a lifestyle because it's not something that you actually enjoy. And this goes back into that mindset component that we talked about. So rather than trying to eat 100% perfectly healthy, you need to allow yourself to, give yourself the permission to eat foods you enjoy, and understanding just that a majority of the time you need to fuel yourself with nutritious, satiating food. And eating healthy doesn't mean just having like butterhead lettuce and, barely any protein for lunch. Like, eating healthy can still be a lot of food. It's just that we need to make sure we are having that frame of mind where there's no lack of or a restriction. And that's where, having a great relationship to food is a really crucial component of the fuel section. The second part to fuel, like I said, is, fuel for the soul. So social events, seeing friends and family, your health should really not come at the expense. Your physical health shouldn't come at the expense of your mental health and your fulfillment in life. So an exercise that you can do to help have a balance of, fuel for the soul and fuel for nutrition is really look at and identify your non-negotiables. Your non-negotiables are things that you need, not want, in order to feel healthy and balanced and enjoy the lifestyle that you have. So an example would be, a need for me is, lifting weights 3 times a week. I know that that's going to make me feel really good. I could do 5. I want to do 5, but I don't need to do 5 in order for me to feel my best. Another non-negotiable for me is, like, I need to move my body and get outside at least 30 minutes a day. Same thing for, seeing friends or family. Like, I need to see friends at least, twice a week in order to have, that holistic, balanced lifestyle and feel really good. So an exercise you can do is actually go and look at all of these buckets and divide your life, divide your health into all buckets, and decide what do you actually need in each bucket to feel balanced and feel healthy, not what you want. And then make sure you don't overflow one bucket before all buckets are full. And that's really how you can feel balance. Again, there's really no such thing as balance on a daily basis. It's broad spectrum over period of time. There's going to be some days you can do everything, and some days, it's going to teeter totter, but overall it is going to average and balance out if you follow that non-negotiables exercise. Okay, the fourth component, second last of the components to a holistic, healthy lifestyle, is movement. So a lot of the times we think movement just comes down to exercise, but it's not true, right? If you are only exercising and then you go and sit at a desk all day and you don't move your body and you're sitting for 4 hours straight and then you go eat lunch and you go right back to your desk, or sometimes you miss lunch altogether, you're going to suffer from, pain, you're going to suffer from lack of energy, you're going to suffer from probably a low mood or poor mood because we're not moving, we're not getting oxygen to our brain. We're probably more stressed and our stress is heightened all day. So really important to focus on movement outside of exercise. So yes, walking is exercise, but just for the purpose of this point, instead of just exercising, ensuring that we were focusing on that balanced movement. So it literally could mean every hour you stand up from your desk and you do 5 squats, or after every time you go to the bathroom, you do an extra walk around your office. So something that's going to allow you to get more movement in daily. And this is where we can use something called habit stacking, which is where you just stack the habit that you want to do on top of a new habit. I just explained it. After every time you go to the bathroom, when you're walking back, you do some more laps around the office. That would be an example. And then finally, the very final component of a holistic, healthy lifestyle is stress management. So, stress is really going to be managed through all the other 4 components that I just walked through, but it really ties into everything. So, the end of the day, when we're stressed, a lot of us know, we can tend to throw everything else out the window because we're really just trying to survive. It's like, I just need to get this stuff done. I can't think about anything else. And when we do that, we can feel guilt. We can get, down on ourselves. Like, I can't believe it didn't fall through. Why am I not consistent? And again, this goes back to the unrealistic expectations we might have around perfection, around what consistency should look like. But we need to manage our stress so that the lows that we have when we are stressed don't get too low. And also recognizing that, the mindset component is a crucial aspect when it comes to stress. So if you're stressed and you have a big project at work and all you're thinking is, I just need to get this done, like I can't exercise, I can't eat well, I just need to finish this project for my boss, it's due tomorrow. At the end of the day, that is a lack of mindset, because in your mind, you're thinking, if I go to the gym, I'm losing the opportunity to work on this project. Or, if you have kids, right? And, you're thinking, okay, I can't do this. I need to go and pick up my kids from school. Of course, you need to do all that. And there are also other times in our day where we can find something to help and make sure that you are managing your stress by moving, by eating well, because in reality, those things are not only going to help you show up better and feel better, but it's going to help you be a better mom, be more focused at work, probably be more productive, and actually do better work than, trying to work for 10 hours straight and getting that done. So really want to look at some things that we can do to manage stress, which is of course nutrition and daily movement. But some other aspects that you can look to are 30-second breath work throughout the day. Every time you start to feel stressed, you can try some journaling, affirmations, meditation, and just going on a quick walk whenever you start to feel that stress come through. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Those were the 5 components of a holistic, healthy lifestyle. So I'm just going to quickly go over them again. It's sleep, mindset, fuel in a sustainable way, movement, and stress management. I'm also going to be posting this to my Instagram as well as YouTube, so you can go and watch and rewatch it there. But I hope you all enjoyed. And just a reminder that all of these components and more are things that I work with my one-on-one clients on in my coaching program. So if you're finding it hard to actually put these things into action, you're struggling with consistency, and you really are just done feeling like the yo-yoing cycle is continuing, you're not consistent, and you want to feel your best inside and out, these are all things that I can help you with. So if you're interested, you can go to the link in my bio and book a consultation call with me so we can talk about creating a custom plan for you. Otherwise, hope you have an awesome day, and thank you for watching, everybody.